So for my final reflection for Library 612, I'm going to focus on the 5 questions that were presented to us to reflect upon. And I'll start with what was rewarding about action research. When I started the research that ultimately led to my proposal, I enjoyed finding more information out about my school and how my school lacks diversity, but has extremes on levels of learning. Action research can be challenging because what seems like a simple process in finding relevance in a research topic is actually quite extensive. I found by doing this research of looking at my collection in the library, learning a bit more about the students in the school, and attempting to utilize picture books for more than what they've been used for in the past, doing so is only going to help improve my position as a LMS, because part of my role is to keep track of my collection and know when it may be time to rearrange it, weed it, or alter it for patrons coming in, which include teachers and students. So for my job, my career, it was extremely helpful and rewarding doing this assignment or this course. The challenges, though, I faced were learning about action research was that it was more of a time constraint for me. I may have put too much on my plate this semester with teaching, coaching, a third pregnancy, and finishing my master's, and I feel I didn't learn about action research as thoroughly as I could have. Although the material is extremely relevant and useful to my position, I didn't go into as much depth as I could have for my actual research, and that's just personal criticism. I did enjoy my topic, but I was challenged, though, with all the details that went into learning more about the topic, the actual research process, and then being stumped on how to go about the research as far as developing a survey or interview questions. And this was challenging because my research question was tough for me to stick with just one avenue of it. So based on current student and teacher perceptions, this was my question: how can the picture book collection be promoted and encouraged to improve student engagement with the library collection of picture books? So I love my question, but it challenged me because I'm 3 months into being a librarian and 11 years into being a teacher. So I kept veering towards more of a lesson planning and trying to come up with lessons for high school students and how to incorporate the picture books into a lesson versus focusing on how to arrange the actual collection in the library to entice teachers and students to use it, which was what my question was intended for. I also found challenging differentiating quantitative and qualitative research. I have a better understanding of it with the help from Dr. Descala, but still I need a stronger understanding of it. For some reason, it's a little confusing, but I'm slowly getting there. As far as applying my learnings to the future, I will definitely use the material when I am ready to dig deeper on researching what students and teachers need in order to facilitate their learning and educational experiences. Each year there's something different with how to approach learning, so my goal is to stay up to date with research and what works well, what has not worked well, and what needs improvement. I think surveys are a great way to get feedback from both teachers and students, and so there's always going to be difficulties because more often than not, there are pilot programs that last only a year, so sometimes research can be skewed based on what the educational system is trying to do or change. So, for example, my school's piloting Chromebooks, but I've already heard that they're looking for alternative sources for other schools when they implement them in all the other schools in the district. So there's always changes. If I look back on the course and I could do it over or one do-over, I definitely would spend more time reading the articles more thoroughly than I did. And I also would try to get to know that research terminology a lot better and how it's applied. I looked at it and I studied it, but I think that I probably should have focused on it a bit more as far as the reading. I did get a little overwhelmed with the material to keep up with, but again, that's a fault of my own balancing it all. So I also would manage my time better to submit drafts for Dr. Descala to read over because he provided such great and thorough feedback. On my proposal, what I would do differently, change my topic. Picture books are tough for high school students. So I think I would look at surveying students on the usage of Chromebooks or a form of technology. And since we've implemented the Chromebooks this year, I think that would be a good route to go. And I would, like to discuss whether the implementation of such technology has improved or hampered their learning styles. But again, in the library, I don't know if I would need to focus more on my collection or what I personally do as a librarian. Any suggestions for this? Not really. I think that Dr. Descala did a fantastic job this semester, being his first time at Old Dominion, and it was very well organized. I did get a little freaked out and overwhelmed by all the assignments, so looking back, I thought it was going to just be way too much, but I really enjoyed the progression of building up to the research proposal and being able to experience the actual research process. I think the feedback provided by the professor was extremely helpful. Some of the best feedback I've ever gotten through my 1.5 to 2 years of doing the master's program, which was definitely helpful and pretty awesome. And so I'm gracious for all that he commented on to improve my knowledge of research, and then also to help me with my writing. So I'm pleased with this semester. It was a tough semester, like I said, just because of time management and a few other things, but otherwise I'm happy it's over and hopefully did all right. Thanks.